These people keep putting the microphone to the wrong height. Finally, our Citizen Openness Award, or COPE, goes to Sheila Plotkin, a resident of McFarland who undertook a huge open records project that involved, and still involves, battling with lawmakers to obtain records of their contacts with from members of the public on hot-button political issues. Her research showed that lawmakers disregarded the overwhelming weight of input they received. Accepting the award is Sheila Plotkin.
Good evening. Thank you to Bill Leaders and to the Freedom of Information Council for this recognition of my efforts and of my website, We the Irrelevant, formerly known as We the People. Wisconsin's legislative majority made significant changes to our electoral process and our educational landscape. Were citizens demanding these changes? While Wisconsin still has its open records law, I am using it to find out. Querying all Republican legislators, my volunteers and I have tallied what citizens said about dismantling the Government Accountability Board, rewriting campaign finance law, exempting only politicians from John Doe, and defunding our public education system. By wide margins, citizens opposed every one of these initiatives. In 25 of Wisconsin's 33 Senate districts, 84% or more of those who contacted legislators opposed the changes. We've tallied nearly 11,000 expressions of support for public education. Even those who favor some version of the voucher system often express alarm at the defunding of public schools. Wisconsin's strong open records law made this effort possible. Most legislators cooperated in a timely fashion. Some tried to levy charges, but all those charges were waived in the face of citizen resistance. Two legislators continue to insist on advance payment of hundreds of dollars before they will even begin a records search. Their interpretation of the spirit and intent of the law differs from mine. Government openness is the Wisconsin value honored here this evening. It's a cornerstone of democracy and a noble tradition upheld across the partisan divide. I'm very proud to play my part. I thank my fellow honorees and all of you for playing yours. Let's keep it up. Thank you.
But I have great hope for the future because we have more allies and resources than ever in the struggle for open government. Just consider tonight's awards winners. Attorney General Schimmel has been more proactive in support of maintaining and strengthening our open records law than any of his predecessors since Bronson La Follette. Mr. Schimmel courageously spoke against the Joint Finance Committee's attempt to gut the open records law. He reorganized and reinvigorated DOJ's Office of Open Government. Way to go, Paul. And he sponsored a well-attended summit on improving the records and meetings laws, and last week fired Secretary Wall for his outrageous proposal. The traditional news media is represented, of course, as well. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel has long championed open government. On its editorial pages, of course, congratulations to all three of you, but also in many court cases. Through the Journal-Sentinel's efforts, along with its new partners in the USA Today Network Wisconsin, and other members of the Wisconsin Newspaper Association, we've seen more and more state and local investigative news stories based on public records. Broadcasters are also increasingly using the open records law to break significant news stories, and Greg Newman's report is a great example. I'd also like to recognize here Greg's colleague, Tony Galley, who has been a frequent flyer with open records and meetings questions on the hotline for decades.
Very patient.
And the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association, which has been a reliable partner with its print competitors on transparency issues throughout my career. The internet has transformed the movement for open government by allowing anyone to develop an audience if they have something interesting to say. Well, the open records law opens a wealth of interesting government information to any requester, and Sheila Plotkin has shown everyone how ingenuity, creativity, and effort can combine to produce a remarkable government accountability tool. And thank goodness there are courageous public citizens like Molly Regan who courageously blew the whistle on government wrongdoing at the WEDC. Hi.
Bob, what can Sheila do about the two legislators who want to charge her extra for those records?
We'll sue them, of course.
You're hired.
No, actually, litigation should be a last resort. I mean, I'm sure Sheila has tried to cajole them. She's tried to embarrass them on her website and done a good job of that, but they apparently are shameless, unlike the rest of their colleagues. And so, you know, I think the point is effectively made already that they are outliers who must have something to hide because they haven't seen fit to follow the 99% of the rest of the legislature that have cooperated.